coronavirus spread has shown that healthcare is the main power that shapes the economy and politics at a time when a disease brought nations to a standstill. That was the statement on marble credited to Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and it can't be said better. On that note, I thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. So I will now invite the chairman of our Presidential Steering Committee himself, Boss Mustafa, to take charge and give us his final words. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mamora, the Honorable Minister of State Health. And let me thank all the panelists for this concluding session, and to thank all participants for these 2 gruesome days of insightful discussions, interrogations of what we have done thus far, where we are, and where we are headed. And to just re-emphasize probably the things that you have just mentioned, and the need to continue along this particular path. The national response that we crafted in 2020, precisely from the inauguration, I think it was 17th of March or 20-something of March, we took off. We crafted the terms of reference for the Presidential Task Force then, and began to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic without the slightest idea or inclination of what was confronting the world. But step by step, the adverse effect of COVID-19 started unfolding, and we continue to respond in a very systematic, well-articulated process. And I believe strongly that the exercise that we've had here in the last 2 days is a continuation of that robust engagement, trying to craft what eventually will deal with the future of this pandemic. We have all attested to the fact that this pandemic is not likely to go very soon. And if it is going to remain with us, what are the things that we need to in place so that we can continue to balance lives and livelihood? Because this pandemic has manifested itself in different forms and nature. Started as a major health emergency of our generation, dovetailed into a very devastating economic experience that has thrown a lot of people into poverty. It has interrupted their means of livelihood. It has also disrupted our social orientation. Things that we used to do as a community, we can't do it again. In Nigeria and like in several other countries, the other manifestation of COVID-19, it came with a lot of violent reaction. And SARS was a product of COVID-19. It was the built-up frustration of the restrictions and inability of people to make daily living that fueled the NSARS crisis. So we can see that in several ways COVID-19 has impacted the world. And as a task force then, and now steering committee, one of the things that we held on to was this continuous interrogation of what was happening and trying to find out, based on experiences of other jurisdictions, science and data that was made available to us. A lot of people might not have known. We had a committee of scientists, Nigerians in diaspora, that were modeling for us, giving us information. We knew that we didn't have the capacity here, but we leveraged the fact that there are Nigerians well-experienced, well-resourced, that will help us navigate this. And every time we came to our meetings, we were informed. Every decision we took, we were informed by either science data, experiences of other jurisdictions, or the application of the science as provided by the team that was advising us, along with the local team here back at home, chaired by Professor Tomori and the rest of them. They were all advising, and we were taking those advice. And that helped tremendously in mitigating the adverse effect. Because COVID-19 did not come to play any romance with anybody. It came to take away lives and livelihoods. It came to disrupt even the governance structure of most established democracies. I saw Trump quarreling with the mayor of a city as to who would impose mask mandate. You mean the 300 years of the existence of democracy in the United States? Such minute things were not settled? That was the adverse effect of COVID-19. So I believe these last 2 days, the exercise we have gone through is to sharpen our thoughts and prepare on a sustainable basis as to how to go. And I must say this to the commissioners of health from the various sub-nationalities. The only people that the federal government has oversight over or superintend over are the only people that live within the cities of, within the city of Abuja. That's all. All the people in Nigeria reside in your states. You are the ones that have the constitutional responsibility to provide for these people in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of their needs, provide for their welfare. And eventually, when it comes to the issues of enforcement, it is the subnationals that are supposed to enforce. And that was why when we got the president to sign the Quarantine Act, in the Quarantine Act, it is clearly and explicitly mentioned that the subnationals can adopt, modify, as it suits their purposes. I'm saying this so that I don't want the commissioners to go back to their states with the impression that at the national we can do anything much apart from giving the broad framework and the guidance and the resourcing as much as possible. But the bulk of the responsibility, even driving the process of the administration of the vaccines, it's for the subnationals and the local governments to drive that process. We would not be able to drive it for you. Even if we have an infrastructure that has done routine vaccination in the past, they might not be able to carry the load. Routine vaccination is for a specific target people. But this one, you want to vaccinate 112 million Nigerians by the end of 2022. You have so far vaccinated just about 3 point something. From that statistic, you know that you have a long way to go and fast push these vaccines. Because this is a smart virus. It will continue to mutate as long as we remain unvaccinated. That's the danger about it. That's my little understanding of the mutation of this virus. Let me assure you of one thing. The president is willing and able, because after I left in the afternoon, I had a small session with him, and I briefed him of this meeting. Keenly, he watched part of the sessions yesterday when it was being relayed on the different networks. And he's happy about one thing, the collaboration between the federal government and the states, because that is the only way you can maintain sustainability. That is the only way. That is the only way. As the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I have tried as much as possible to create that community of practice in different areas from my office, not only COVID-19. Last Thursday, I was in Lagos meeting with the Secretaries to the Government of the Southwest States with the Down Commission, sharing our experiences of the creation of the Central Delivery and Coordinating Unit that I've just operationalized in my office. Last year, or was it 2019, because of the experiences I had with the Secretaries to the Government after a meeting, one of them accosted me and asked me that he has seen that we meet every week except when the President is out and the Vice President is not available. I said, yes. Does it mean that we have things to discuss every week? I said, yes. The matters of governance of Nigeria is a big issue that you can even meet every day because of the complicities of the issues. And I realized that part of the shortcomings is that they did not have a format of how to conduct meetings. And we had just developed a cabinet affairs handbook that will tell you from A to Z what you need to do to constitute a state or a federal executive council meeting. How the memos are designed. Some are contract memos, some are policy papers, some are notes. And I launched it. And I used it now to get the cabinet secretaries, permanent secretaries, cabinet affairs of the entire 36 states of the Federation to a meeting. And I shared that experience with them. Today, they are better off. They can manage their bosses, they can hold meetings. That is the strength of synergy and cooperation between the federal and the subnationals. And I think the takeaway from this meeting, for me, is that this has been properly exposed and underpinned, and there is no departing from it. We must go that route, and we must ensure that we offer protection for our people. So with these very few remarks, I think we've done a lot, and I'm glad that the summaries of the conclusions have been read. Dr. Mamura is a member of the Presidential Task Force who will take the document, subject it to further review. At our meeting, hopefully we will hold a meeting, because I'm thinking that we need to hold a meeting to discuss certain global developments, especially with the red listing of Nigeria and all other things, so that we can come up with an appropriate response to some of the issues, so that we do not cede our responsibility to people speaking left, right, and center, and without a coordinated voice. Looking at a Thursday or thereabout, or Thursday or Monday, depending on availability of most of our members, so that we can subject this to further interrogation. And the President has told me that he is eagerly awaiting the outcome of the recommendations of this summit. So I want to thank you, and I wish you journey mercies as you return home. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and all dignitaries that are here. I want to thank everyone that attended this summit, and we wish you a safe journey back home. The summary and presentations will be shared to all the state commissioners and all delegates. Thank you very much. We'll now stand up, please, for the national anthem. After a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
No, we are not going to allow all those malpractices of the past. Any